Spend hours on crypto Twitter so you don't have to. Here's what's happening. A spokesperson for His Majesty's Treasury told CoinDesk that they expect businesses to be treated fairly. The spokesperson added that crypto firms authorized by the Financial Conduct Authority, or FCA, shouldn't be treated differently just because of their sector. This comment sounds innocuous, but it comes after a report from a crypto lobbying group about banks blocking transactions in the UK. The claim is that these transactions were perfectly legal. For example, people transferring money into crypto-focused exchanges. To explain the blocked transactions, the banks basically cited fraud risk. Throughout 2025 into 2026, US regulators and members of government have spoken positively about the digital asset industry and blockchain technologies. But I've been trying to keep a better tab on what's happening internationally. This report was an example of another government speaking in a way that's favorable to the digital asset industry or blockchain technologies. And it reminded me to do a little deep dive on what's going on in the United Kingdom. A few things caught my eye. First, the current UK government has been and continues to be focused on providing regulatory clarity to digital assets and digital asset ecosystem. The UK government has signaled that it wants to become an international hub for digital assets. Second, the FCA, or Financial Conduct Authority, has been hard at work making progress toward regulatory clarity in the United Kingdom. The FCA plans to open an application gateway in September of 2026. That application gateway would be for crypto asset permissions. Just a week ago, it requested feedback on how its consumer duty rules should apply to crypto asset firms. It requested that feedback by March 12th. So the UK government has said it's interested in building out the regulatory framework, and it's making progress toward that. I'm by no means an expert on UK regulation, and things are still developing here in the United States, but my initial read is that the UK will be a little bit more regulatory in its approach. That is, there will be slightly more rules, slightly more regulatory burden for software developers and crypto asset firms, but pretty clearly there will be business potential in the United Kingdom. Third and finally, this deep dive highlighted a transatlantic task force for markets of the future between the US and UK. This is a collaboration between the US Treasury and His Majesty's Treasury. By the way, quick aside, it's always referred to as HM Treasury in news articles. That's His Majesty's Treasury. The task force was announced back in September. Its goal is to identify recommendations and collaboration opportunities with respect to digital assets, in addition to other potential financial innovations. A US Treasury readout gave very limited details, but US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor of the Exchequer of the United Kingdom, reportedly met a couple Mondays ago. They discussed updates on the task force. I'll be keeping an eye out for more detailed updates. In any case, I do think the takeaway is that the US and UK are collaborating here. And given the posture of the current US government, that would seem quite favorable for crypto, digital asset, blockchain technology prospects in the United Kingdom. So definitely something I'll be keeping an eye on. And at the very least, I'm learning some relevant government words for the United Kingdom.